Hey everybody, it's Dave here from Dragon Hill Games. So in this video, we're going to have a look inside a couple of theme boosters and then decide whether or not this product is worth your valuable dollars. All right, let's kick things off by discussing first, is this product intended for? Well, this product really is intended for a newer player that's looking to build up their collection in a specific color. In this case, this is the red theme booster. So every card that's in here will either be red or be usable in a red deck. There might be some artifacts or colorless cards that could be used in a red deck. But essentially everything in here is good if you're trying to build up your collection or build some new red decks as a new player. In a theme booster, you get 35 cards, and typically there's only one rare per theme booster. The rest is going to be all commons and uncommons. Now there is the odd chance, a very small chance, that you could get two rares. An important thing to note is that Wizards did something really, I do have to say, good on you Wizards, a nice play. So for this particular set, what they've gone and done is made a couple of rares in each color, so a total of 10 rares that are exclusive only to the theme boosters. And it really is kind of a shady move, I have to say, on Wizards' part. I'm really not happy, both as a store owner and as a consumer, about the fact that they've done this. Because, I mean, in these packs, in your rare slot, you could get any rare in this color. So, you know, if there's 6 or 8 or even 10 or whatever rares in red, in Theros, you could get any one of those regular rares, or you could get one of the two exclusive rares that you could only find inside the Theros boosters. So there's no guarantee you're going to find any sort of special card inside of these. And if you are, you know, a regular sort of Magic player, been playing Magic for a while, something like this, in my opinion, I feel is just not very good value. Because, like I said, you're only going to be getting one rare most of the time inside of here. These carry a $10 price tag in Canada. I don't really know what they go for in the States or whatever country where you live. But up here in Canada for $10, I mean, you could get two regular boosters. So I think just two regular boosters is probably better value, because then you're going to be getting, you know, at least two rares out of the deal. All right, let's crack these open and see what we get inside. This is a lot of packaging. What the? All right, I guess we'll try going in the bottom. Holy, this is excessive packaging, and it is not easy to get into. I mean, it could just be the operator, but I don't think so. All right, so yes. Okay, in the red one we had a pack. Let's look and see what we get inside here. I'm not going to spend any of my time going through the commons and uncommons. I mean, there's a million box opening videos out there, so if that's something you're interested in, just kind of check those out. Yeah, so just a whole crap ton of commons and uncommons. I mean, this is the commons and uncommons, and I'm getting one. I got a mythic in this one, so I did get the Ox of Agonis. So, I mean, pretty decent hit, I suppose, for the one card I could have gotten in that pack. All right, let's have a look inside the black one. Yeah, it looks like the way to get into these is to go in through the bottom, baby. In through the bottom. All right, that's decent. So in this one, we started out with a Gary right on top. Really cool that he's back in this set, and he is making for some interesting standard play, that is for sure. Oh, there was another one in there too. Okay, so again, in this one, I did only get the one rare, but I did get the Underworld Sentinel, which is one of the new theme booster only exclusive rares. So this particular guy is 2 black and 3. He's a creature, a skeleton soldier. He's a 4/5. And whenever Underworld Sentinel attacks, exile target creature card from your graveyard. When Underworld Sentinel dies, put all cards exiled with it onto the battlefield. Pretty tricky little card for black for sure. All right, so in those 2 packs, we did end up with the Mythic Oxybagonus and the Underworld Sentinel. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up all the different Theme Booster exclusive only rares. So if you want, you can take a moment to check those out. Okay, so there are a couple of things to keep in mind. The prices you see are the prices as of filming on January 23rd, 2020 in American dollars. And as I mentioned, there are a couple of cards in each color that were only available as Theme Booster rares, and we're going to go ahead and go through those now. So up first, we have a Grasping Giant. So this guy is 1 white and 5, carries a price tag of around $9. He's a creature giant of 5/7 with vigilance. And whenever Grasping Giant becomes blocked by a creature, exile that creature until Grasping Giant leaves the battlefield. So possibly some potential in standard, although I think 6 is kind of a little high on the top end, so I don't really see that. You know, maybe some commander potential if you can find some way to stick something on him to force your creatures to block him. Essentially, they all just kind of get exiled. But he is kind of really good value. I mean, nothing really kills it, you know, when he's attacking, because everything just sort of instantly gets exiled as far as combat damage wise. So interesting creature. Not sure, you know, long term that this is worth $9, but I guess that remains to be seen. And up next, and the second card in white, is Victory's Envoy. It carries a price tag of around $6. I actually really like this card. Of all of them, I think this is one that definitely has sort of the best long-term potential. But Victory's Envoy is 2 white and 3. It's a creature human cleric, a 3/3. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. So top end of white, it's a little heavy for the top end of white in standard, but we'll see. Maybe it'll appear in some decks. Definitely useful in commander though, for sure. So moving along to blue, we have a Serpent of Yawning Depths. Carries a price tag around $10. And for 2 blue and 4, we get an enchantment creature Serpent. It's a 6/6. And it has a Krakens, Leviathans, and Octopuses. Octopi. And serpents you control can't be blocked except by Krakens, Leviathans, and Octopi and serpents. Okay, so essentially, the creatures you control can only be blocked by Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and serpents, Octopi, and serpents, if they are one of those creature types. So, interesting card for sure. Maybe some commander workarounds. Not quite sure why it carries the $10 price tag, but I guess if you built the right kind of deck, could definitely be very effective. And the second blue card available to us is Sphinx Mindbreaker. So this thing is 2 blue and 5. It's a 6/6 flyer. And when Sphinx Mindbreaker enters the battlefield, each opponent puts the top 10 cards of their library into their graveyard. So pretty good deal if you can find a way to blink it. Maybe the new Thassa exiles and returns a creature to the battlefield under your control every turn. So essentially just kind of mill your opponent to death. And moving along to black, we have a Demon of Loathing. This thing carries a price tag of around $10. So it's 2 black and 5 is a creature demon, a 7/7 with flying and trample. And when Demon of Loathing deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. So definitely has some potential in commander in decks like Kaalia for sure. And it's no wonder it carries a price tag of around $10, considering the rarity of like the potential to actually get this card and how few of them there are going to be in the marketplace. I think Kaalia would definitely want to see this in its deck for sure. All right, and up next is Underworld Sentinel, which is the one I happened to pull in the theme booster that I opened. So carries a price tag of around $14.50. Actually pretty good value, this card. 2 black and 3, we get a creature skeleton soldier. He's a 4/5, and whenever Underworld Sentinel attacks, exile target creature card from your graveyard. When Underworld Sentinel dies, put all cards exiled with it onto the battlefield. Now, so this could definitely have some sort of potential in standard at the top end of black, mono black, or something like that. And then obviously has some commander uses as well. And one thing I did want to mention is all the cards that are available only in the theme booster, like as theme booster exclusives, are also available in the ancillary slot in the collector booster. So that's something to definitely keep in mind as well. And moving along to red, up first we have Deathbellow Warcry. Carries a price tag around $9, and it's really heavily costed at 3 red and 5. It's a sorcery, but you search your library for up to 4 Minotaur creatures with different names, and then put them onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. So some really good kind of potential commander uses, I suppose, if you can find 4 Minotaurs that are worth playing. All right, and the second red one we have is Terror of Mount Velis. So this one carries a price tag of nearly $17.50, and you'll see why. So this thing is 2 red and 5. It's a creature dragon, a 5/5 with flying and double strike. And when Terror of Mount Velis enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. So if you think commander, there's just a ton of decks that would really love to have a creature like this. Obviously Kaalia for sure, but Ur-Dragon and Mael would make good use of this card as well. And finally we get to green. So the first one we have is a Treeshaker Chimera. It's carrying a price tag around $6. It's also of note the lowest value of the Theme Booster only rares. So Treeshaker Chimera is 2 green and 5 for a creature Chimera. It's an 8/5, and all creatures able to block Treeshaker Chimera do so. When Treeshaker Chimera dies, draw 3 cards. So, I mean, green can make 7 mana. That's not usually a problem for green, especially if this is sort of the top end. And you can sort of just use it as, hey, I throw this down, I've got a bunch of other stuff, we're in sort of a board lock state, I swing in with the Treeshaker and everything on my opponent's side is forced to block that. The rest of my stuff just kind of gets through and obliterates my opponent. And in the event that your opponent doesn't die or they have removal, when the Chimera dies, you draw 3 cards. So decent value. I could see it maybe getting tested out a little bit in standard, but in the 7 slot, I'm sure there's a lot of things that green would rather go to. All right, last but not least, and as far as I'm concerned, the best one of the bunch is Ironscale Hydra, currently valued around $18.50. So for 2 green and 3, we get a Creature Hydra. It's a 5/5. And if a creature would deal combat damage to Ironscale Hydra, prevent that damage and put a +1/+1 counter on Ironscale Hydra. Just really good value. I mean, green doesn't ever care about paying a 5 mana for a quality creature. And this thing is virtually impossible to kill in combat. I mean, Death Touch does nothing to it because all damage is prevented. So basically just attack or block for days with this crazy thing. All right, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me out. And we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.